evening and welcome to Biz RoundUp. I'm Tamiru Nimsal and we at our television bring you a collection of business highlights. Let's have a look at the headlines. Central Bank government advocates SOA listing to boost public ownership. Sri Lanka records over 722,000 tourist arrivals in Q1 of 2025. Sri Lanka and Switzerland discuss trade and investment expansion. News in detail. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka announced that deflationary conditions in the country have started easing in March 2025, aligning with its near-term projections last week. Measured by the year-on-year change in the Colombo Consumer Price Index, headline inflation remained negative for the 7th consecutive month.
Deflation slowed to 2.6% in March compared to 4.2% in February 2025. Non-food deflation decreased to 4.1% year-on-year in March from 6.1% in February. Food inflation recorded a 0.6% increase in March, reversing the deflation of 0.2% in February. The CCPI decreased by 0.31% in March, driven by a 0.43% drop in food prices and a 0.12% rise in non-food prices. The CBSL confirmed that the quarterly average headline inflation for Q1 2025 aligned with its projections. Deflationary conditions are expected to ease further in the coming months, with inflation projected to return to positive territory by mid-2025. The CBSL anticipates inflation will gradually converge to its targeted level of 5% over the medium term, supported by appropriate policy measures.
Sri Lanka's construction sector continued its expansion in February 2025, with increased activity reported by most industry participants, according to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. The Purchasing Managers Index for the construction sector rose to 55.6 in February, up from 52.9 in January, indicating further expansion.
An index value above 50.0 signals growth in the sector. Respondents reported a continued rise in construction activity, driven mainly by road and irrigation rehabilitation projects. The quantity of purchases and suppliers' delivery time indices also expanded, reflecting an uptick in procurement and project execution. Despite the growth, the employment index contracted further, indicating conservative hiring practices within the sector. Industry players emphasized the need for more large-scale projects to sustain momentum. Firms expect greater government involvement in the construction industry for the remainder of 2025.
Central Bank Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinha said that the state-owned enterprises should be enlisted in the capital markets to ensure that they are truly owned by the public. Dr. Nandalal Veerasinha said this, speaking at the Invest Sri Lanka forum held in Colombo recently.
Keeping the state ownership is one thing, but having public ownership means offering public opportunity to diversify into public ownership from the state ownership. I think when you look at Sri Lankan state ownership, Sri Lankan state owns a large, huge stock of the assets. Over several decades of taxpayer money being funded and develop this thing, I think this opportunity. Even this good for the market developments, capital market developments. You need big state-owned enterprises be listed in the capital market that will provide more opportunities, that will bring in governance and all the important governance measures into state-owned enterprise businesses. This is my personal view. I'm sure government also indicated their ability, their willingness to basically provide that opportunities for public ownership compared to state ownership, while keeping certain amount of state ownership, but offering that part to public is the right move in my view. I think that's where you will have opportunities. And corporations, both public and private, will have opportunities to raise capital. Medium to long-term capital is something necessary for long-term investment. With the stability is now in place, with predictability is in place, but capital is where that's capital formation which is very important.
Speaking further at the event, Dr. Veerasinha said that the capital markets is essential to ensure diverse investment opportunities for the citizens of the country. The central bank governor also said that the lack of diverse opportunities and financial literacy leads to people falling prey to various scams and deceptions.
Important element, important feature that we need to have going forward for people to offer, invest their savings into diverse investment opportunities. Because instead of, here in Sri Lanka, if you look at the public sector, they have a social safety in terms of kind of government pension. As large public sector, they don't have this kind of safety net. The only way that these people, for their senior citizens or ages, is to whatever savings they have, they would usually do come to the bank and deposit and trying to live out of the interest income. That is not sustainable. That's where capital market developments, offering more opportunities for regulated capital products is important. I think there's a lot of opportunities also. And this is where, because there's a lack of investment opportunities in different diverse instruments, people get into scams, people get into pyramid schemes, people get into unauthorized deposit-taking businesses, and people lose their money because under normal, this kind of a multiple cycles, obviously market interest rates can't be very high, can never be double digit if we maintain inflation to 5%. So we have to have a situation where people get used to relatively low banking interest rates. Then what are the opportunities for these people to invest their savings and earn higher return for their living going forward?
Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. Sri Lanka's economic policy framework came under close scrutiny at the Capital Market Investor Forum held in Colombo recently. Leading experts explored key strategies to ensure economic stability, transparency and growth at the forum organized by the Colombo Stock Exchange and the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Among the panelists were Economic Development Deputy Minister Professor Anil J. Fernando, SEC Chairman Senior Professor DBPH Disabandara and CBSL Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe. Professor Fernando stressed the importance of economic stabilization, capital market development and financial transparency, calling for stronger capital markets to bridge the savings investment gap. On the issue of market transparency, he highlighted the need for greater access to financial information through technology-driven platforms, ensuring that all investors can make informed decisions. Meanwhile, SEC Chairman Professor Disabandara outlined new legal reforms aimed at strengthening financial governance. He confirmed that the Proceeds of Crime Act is set for parliamentary debate on the 8th of April, reinforcing the government's commitment to anti-money laundering and financial oversight. CBSL Governor Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe emphasized the importance of prudent monetary policy in achieving long-term stability. He acknowledged Sri Lanka's progress towards political and economic recovery and expressed optimism about achieving a current account surplus through fiscal discipline and strategic policy reforms. While concerns over budget constraints remain, Professor Fernando reassured that coordination between fiscal and monetary policies would be crucial in balancing growth, inflation control and debt management. With rising investor confidence, a strengthening rupee and improving credit ratings, the panel concluded that Sri Lanka is on the right path, but continued governance reforms and economic resilience will be key to attracting foreign investments and ensuring sustainable growth.
A high-level meeting was held at the Sri Lanka Export Development Board between EDB Chairman Mangal Vijayasinghe and Swiss Ambassador Dr. Siri Walt. Discussion centered on expanding bilateral trade, boosting exports and fostering investment confidence.
Vijayasinghe outlined Sri Lanka's export development plan, focusing on product diversification, value addition and governance reforms. Ambassador Walt reaffirmed Switzerland's commitment to transparency, sustainable trade and investment in Sri Lanka's tourism sector. She also announced that a Swiss business delegation will visit in June 2025 to explore business opportunities. Additionally, the Swiss Embassy has been invited to support Sri Lanka Expo 2026, a major international trade showcase.
Sri Lanka's tourism sector continues its strong rebound, recording 722,276 visit arrivals in the first quarter of 2025. The month of March saw over 229,000 tourist arrivals, marking a 10% year-on-year increase according to the Sri Lanka Tourism Development Authority. Daily average arrivals also increased from 6,748 in March 2024 to 7,397 in March 2025, but dropped from 8,579 from February 2025. While daily arrivals improved year-on-year, the month-on-month decline suggests seasonal shifts and potential challenges in maintaining momentum beyond the peak winter season. To sustain growth beyond the winter peak, the Sri Lanka Tourism Promotion Bureau has launched a new campaign, Sri Lanka, a story for every season. This festive summer influence initiative aims to attract over 2.2 million travelers worldwide and generate 32 million rupees in media exposure, positioning Sri Lanka as a year-round destination. In 2024, Sri Lanka welcomed 2.05 million visitors, generating $3.2 billion in revenue, reflecting a 52.38% year-on-year increase. Stay tuned. We will return after this short commercial break. Welcome back after the break. The Committee on Public Enterprise has raised concerns regarding the operations of the National Gem and Jewellery Authority, citing financial mismanagement, regulatory lapses and potential corruption within the institution. These issues were discussed during a committee meeting held in Parliament recently under the chairmanship of MP Dr. Nishantha Samaravira. The NGJA continues to operate from a rented facility despite spending 2 billion rupees on renovating its own premises. The authority rejected a proposed monthly rental compensation of 3 million rupees for damages caused to its original building. The renovation, initially estimated at 21 million rupees by the Central Engineering Consultancy Bureau, has been indefinitely stalled, raising concerns of the misallocation of public funds. The COP committee questions the NGJA's decision to grant gem mining approvals in a remote village without following proper procedures. The committee recommended that the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption conduct an internal investigation into the approvals process. The NGJA's Board of Directors approved the release of a bag of confiscated gems valued at 2.5 billion rupees for a minimum fine, despite the potential for much higher penalties. The committee noted that the NGJA has prioritized business activities over its core regulatory functions, undermining its original mandate. Discrepancies in tax calculations and imported and exported gems were also flagged as an area requiring further scrutiny. The Hambantota International Port welcomed the CMA CGM Silverstone, marking the vessel's maiden call at Sri Lankan port. This milestone highlights HIP's growing prominence as a regional hub for vehicle transshipment.
The 200-meter-long LNG-powered vessel, built in 2024 and sailing under the Maltese flag, has a capacity to transport 7,000 cars. Arriving from Singapore, the ship carried 333 transshipment units. Unlike traditional roll-on roll-off vessels, the CMA CGM Silverstone is exclusively designed for vehicle transport. This call serves as a trial for assessing HIP's potential as a transshipment hub for CMA CGM's car operations. The vessel will transport vehicles discharged at HIP by other operators to Casablanca, Morocco, without involving local vehicle imports or exports.
Sri Lanka is set to host a major international culinary event as the 22nd edition of the Culinary Art Food Expo 2025 takes place from June 13 to 15 at the Sirmawa Bandaranaike Memorial Exhibition Centre in Colombo. The organizers of the expo made the announcement at a press conference held in Colombo recently.
Organized by Chefs Guild Lanka, the expo is expected to attract top professionals from the food, beverage and hospitality industries, positioning Sri Lanka as a key player in the global culinary landscape. One of the highlights of the expo will be the Battle of the Chefs competition, featuring top culinary talents competing across multiple categories. The competition will be judged by an elite panel of internationally accredited WACS-approved experts, ensuring the participants are evaluated against the highest global standards. In addition, the event will feature cooking demonstrations, expert-led masterclasses and industry panel discussions, making it a crucial networking and knowledge-sharing platform. The event is supported by key industry players with Astriel Marketing Limited as the diamond sponsor and Nestle Lanka plc as the platinum sponsor. Cargill's Dilma, Maliban, Prima and CW Mackey are among the gold sponsors, while leading hospitality brands including Cinnamon Hotels, Hilton, Shangri-La and ITC Ratnadeepa have partnered as official hospitality sponsors.
With that, we wind up for today. For this and more, subscribe to our channel on YouTube and follow us on Facebook. See you tomorrow with State of Business at 7:45 p.m. Take care and good night.